Hello, my friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com here with the beautiful and intelligent Marina. We haven't seen you for a while, Marina. Welcome back.
Oh, that's great to be here. I'm so happy we have so many wonderful things to present tonight.
I'm very excited as well. Sorry, guys, I'm not putting video because I'm sick and it's pain. It's pain to even put on makeup. So you're just gonna look at another very pretty face.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So, Marina, what have you prepared for us? People have been asking. I know you have your own channel as well, but we're looking forward to see what is the new Marina with the new insights and knowledge that you've come through.
Yeah, so Lada, I have always been interested in healing. And I have, for me, astrology is part of the healing process. But I also searched for other tools or techniques which can help us to, heal certain emotional trauma or sometimes even conditions in our health. And that's how I found a great method which I would like to present today. These are the Bach flower essences. And they are so amazing because, first of all, they are healing your soul, they are healing your heart, your emotions. And what's even more interesting is that we can use astrology combined with the Bach flowers in order to, decide concretely what the person needs. And, this is like a whole new territory of exploration. Of course, the Bach flower essences has been used for around 100 years so far, and they have proven to be great tools for healing different emotional challenges. They also have no side effects. So basically, today we are going to discuss this topic, and I will share some of my experience, and hopefully, for some people, this will be helpful as well.
Wonderful, because people are always looking for remedies. That's what people say. Okay, they come to me and they say, I don't want a
Yeah,
horoscope that will tell me what my problems are. I know it. I want a horoscope that will tell me how to solve them.
exactly.
Yeah, especially people that come to me, that's so hard to help when they have like heavy set emotional states. Can flower back senses help with that?
Yes, absolutely. So the main concept here is that everything starts from our emotions. Every disease, even the most difficult disease, they are all due to some kind of emotional trauma or psychological issue. And here we can also add, sciences like psychobiology or integral medicine, they all explore this connection. And for every disease, every illness, there is another reason. And with the Bach flowers, we are basically trying to heal the cause. So we are not treating the symptoms. We are healing the person. That's the main difference. And that's what makes this method more alternative and more untraditional.
Oh, this is amazing. And what about
Yeah.
back senses? Can you tell for those of us for those viewers that
Uh, yeah, absolutely. I can show you actually. This is a set of 38 essences. So here they are. You can, look at them. So they are all extracted by flowers and some trees. And the interesting part is that we combine them. So we don't take, of course, you can use them as single, essences, but we can combine them up to five, sometimes even six. And there is, of course, a specific technique how you can mix them. We use one of these simple bottles to prepare the mixture. And that's what makes, the remedy so personal, because if you combine five or six of those, basically you have more than million possible combinations, literally. Those who are good with maths will calculate that. I forgot the exact number, but they are literally millions. So the main idea is to find the most appropriate combination for the person.
like, how do
And
you find it based on their horoscope or based on what they tell you?
Some of the tools which we use are also, yeah, of course, we can use the horoscope to support us, to show us, what can be a problematic area for this person, what is his emotional type, what is his temper. All of those indications can be very helpful. What's even more interesting, those remedies can also be used for challenging transits. So let's say that, for example, Neptune squares your Mercury, just an example, and you feel kind of confused, you're not so grounded, for example, or you have challenges with your concentration. We know that Neptune can bring those challenges. So we can pick up an essence which can help the person actually to handle easier with this energy. So it's extremely powerful. The method can be used separately. So even if you don't know much about astrology, you can totally use the method on your own. And I also think that one of the great advantages is that you can use this at home on your own. You don't need prescription from a doctor. You don't need, some kind of extensive experience, because the essences are absolutely harmless. There are no side effects. Even we use them for babies, not small children, even for babies. So there are absolutely no side effects.
Well,
And you just can't make a mistake. I mean, even if you pick the wrong essence, nothing bad will happen after that. For example, there may not be any impact. That's the worst case, but you cannot harm the person.
no,
That's, I
well,
think,
even
one of
drink a
the
whole bottle.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes this has happened, for example, with kids, their parents are distracted and the child takes the whole bottle and drinks it. Nothing happens, nothing. So you shouldn't be worried about that. And I think that that's the great advantage, that anyone can use it. And there are different approaches, of course. As we said, first of all, the horoscope can be very helpful because there is a connection. 12 of those remedies are called the 12 healers, which are all related to one of the 12 signs. So we have a remedy for Aries, we have a remedy for Taurus, and very often, actually, what I have noticed, the sign of your moon can be even more important than the sign of your sun. Very often people respond even better to the remedy for their moon sign,
Oh,
which
because if
is
emotion, if it heals the emotions, that makes
absolutely, yeah,
any
absolutely.
remedy for Scorpio. Can they be remedied at all?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We
Oh,
have,
Marina is doing a course on this. It's 8 weeks. It starts on the 7th of May. Guys, there is a link and girls below. If you want to learn this specifically, the whole system, how to use it with astrology and
yes, yes,
separately,
absolutely.
or in specific, how to use it with astrology.
We are going to talk about which indications can show you that you need certain remedy. I will talk about the 12 healers, which are the 12 signs. There are seven other remedies, which are called the seven helpers, which are basically the planets from the September,
Wow.
the visible planets. So we are going to discuss that in depth. But even if people don't know much about astrology, there is absolutely no problem. You can still, take advantage, and you will learn the things that you need during this training, basically.
And it's not for people that also want to work with clients only. Of course, this is for people that professionally want to use it, like an astrologer. But it's also if you want to help your children or loved ones.
Absolutely.
For example,
Absolutely.
like my toddler is currently my Scorpio moon and rising toddler is throwing huge tantrums. It's overwhelming. I'm not used to that. And
Yeah.
how do you help that? And you can teach that in the course.
Yes, absolutely. We are going to discuss how to pick up the right combination, because there are two approaches. Normally, we have something which is, kind of our nature. For example, in your horoscope, let's say that you have lots of Saturn energy, problematic Scorpio, Capricorn energy. And we know that normally this can bring more fears. People, may expect that something bad can happen. This is more like a constitutional type for them. I mean, that's just who they are. Of course, we can help them to overcome this, but the older the challenges, the longer period we need. But let's say that normally you are not someone, who has problematic Saturn or Capricorn. You don't suffer from intense fears frequently, but at some point, something scares you. Let's say that you have had a bad accident and after that you're afraid of driving. For example, I mean, this is like for a certain period, the problem which occurs. And these are the conditions which can be healed faster, actually. So first, we analyze what's this person like, what's his temper. But also, of course, we are interested to find out what type of circumstances are around this person or the events and everything. And both of this works. I mean, we can influence both of the cases.
It's like your first aid kit basically for everything.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
else
absolutely.
no nature? Can you teach us about some signs, some planets, or
Yes, I think that also here, like to give you a basic understanding, it's very interesting to observe how the elements affect or bring tendency for some kind of, physical conditions or even diseases. For example, the fire energy. People, with dominant fire element, or sometimes even people with a very strong Mars or Sun, which is, harmed in some cases. The conditions which they usually suffer from are related to this desire to compete with others, or very often they get extremely overwhelmed because they are so excited about
Mm,
something. Yeah, we know that also they're more predisposed to burning out. And this brings certain diseases, so they are not random, or it doesn't really need to be a serious disease. This may just be a temporary condition. For example, high blood pressure. This is a typical fire condition.
mm,
People who suffer, from a fire problem, they experience those issues. It could be in the birth chart, or it could be impacted by certain transit or even progression. And
mhm.
in all of those cases, we have 3 of the 12 healers, which are related to each of the signs, each of the fire signs. So high blood pressure, for example, or problems with the stomach, for example, if you have too much acids, or the gallbladder. These are typical fire organs. And if you have this unbalanced fire energy, you're more predisposed to these, conditions. Or, sometimes also people who are overwhelmed, doing too many things. This is also a fire energy.
I need that.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the most typical remedy is called impatience. By the way, this is the Aries remedy. I would totally recommend it to you, and it works great. Also, headache, for example, headache. The head is ruled by Mars, and if you have too much Mars energy, too much fire, they are very similar. Also, those people suffer more from headache. And the remedy, let me find it here. Yeah, the impatience remedy. This is the one which we use in those cases in combination with others, of course. And I have noticed that, I mean, it's so close to, the typical Aries energy. People who are always in a hurry, people who get nervous when they need to wait. Usually it can also, bring certain conditions in the body. For example, they are more likely to have, the skin can become red in some places. It's
Mhm.
just because, it's like they're flowing through the air. And, when you are, it's like the wind is harming
Mhm.
the skin. So there are certain symptoms which we can use actually, or yeah, which can show us the right remedy for this person. But it's very obvious. I mean, the nature of the element which is dominant for the person is usually, bringing certain conditions. Another example, let's say the earth energy. We know that, the earth is more predisposed to fears, or sometimes, they don't like changes. They may have challenges with the adaptation when they need to change something, or they may be more conservative or more stuck. And this also brings the typical challenges. Usually, this could affect the bones, or sometimes also certain fears are typical for the earth signs. And there are other three remedies which we use in those cases for people with the Taurus, the Virgo, or the Capricorn energy. I, as a typical Capricorn, for example, have used the Capricorn remedy so many times, and it has helped me tremendously. This is called Mimulus. This remedy is very good for everyone who has concrete fears. What do we mean by concrete fears? If you can say, well, I'm afraid, for example, for my future, or I'm afraid of poverty, or let's say I'm afraid of flying with airplanes, one of my personal fears. This remedy can totally help you. And of course, I mean, there are other types of fears, for example, the irrational fears or the panic attacks. We have other remedies as well. But that's how we approach this. So basically, the horoscope can give you a lot of valuable information. The other elements, the air energy. People with lots of air energy in their chart, they may have more problems with the nervous system. They are more sensitive usually. Sometimes they may have challenges with, making choices, with hesitation, or, something typical for those people is also the symptoms may change. Very typical. For example, one time the person tells you, well, I feel something strange in my hand, like, for example, they hurt. The next time the pain might be in the legs. So, the pain is moving through the body. That's very typical for the strong air energy, because they cannot concentrate. They may have challenges with focusing their attention or their energy. And the air remedies, of course, can help those people to make choices, to concentrate more. And also, from my experience, because of course I have first tested all of that on my own, then on my child, my friends, and everyone, and then of course with clients. So it was very interesting when I first started to explore the remedies, and I learned the description for each remedy. And I remember I read the description for the Gemini remedy. It's called Ceratu. And I remember I read it and I said, well, what is this? Oh, this is totally not me. But I also felt like I'm judging a little bit this, which is very strange. I mean, I had a very intense reaction. How can someone be like that? These are people, for example, who are asking others for advices, who are searching for authority figures to, give them the answers. And I said, well, that's not me. I'm totally taking decisions on my own. But I noticed that my reaction is very strong. And shortly after I started taking the remedies, it hit me like, immediately that, yes, I'm totally doing the things which I don't want to admit I'm doing. At certain point, I always search for information. I try to find out, what's the best thing to do. So my point is that the remedies may help you to get to know yourself better. And they may peel different layers. So for example, you may start with, certain approach or certain conditions which you want to treat. And beneath that, you may find out other things which are the real problem, or which are deeper. And it really helps you to change your perspective. It's really about changing your mindset. It can help you to totally transform your worldview.
And how long
So,
do they take to start acting?
yeah, very interesting question. It's different for different people, but sometimes it could be immediately. Literally, there are people who take, you take 4 drops of the prepared mixture. Sometimes people feel it immediately, especially if this is something which has, bothered you recently. As I said, if you have been scared by a car, let's say on the street, or, something which has just happened, and you take the remedies, the impact might be immediate, almost immediate. In other cases, this may take like a week, or a couple of days. It depends. But usually with the first combination, and one of those 30 milliliter bottles is enough for approximately 3 to 4 weeks. So usually with the first bottle of those, the person may feel the impact. And just let me make something clear, that here are, the original essences, but you don't drink directly from them. There is a specific way to prepare those combinations. It's very simple. It's not something complicated. Basically, you need 2 drops of each essence in a 30 milliliter bottle of spring water. And that's it. Some people add alcohol. I personally don't add it. I have found that there is just no point. The main idea is to keep it cleaner for a longer period.
Mhm.
I didn't have any problems without any alcohol. So of course anyone can decide. I have made the preparation of the essences as a ritual. So I will of course give people the simple technique, which is the minimum of the things that you should do. But also I have added some simple rituals when I'm preparing this combination. So it's really kind of a something magical which you are doing, because it's an energy healing. It's very close to the homeopathy. It's not the same. I know that some people will probably ask what's the difference between homeopathy and the Bach flower remedies. There are some similarities, but they are different methods. The main difference is, first of all, the classical homeopathy uses only one remedy. And with the Bach flowers, we mix them up to 6. So that's number one. The other thing is that the homeopathy basically uses different amount of ingredient. And with the Bach flowers, we use more amount of this, the
Yeah.
natural essence. And it's just a different system. And the other thing, of course, don't get this in the wrong way. I'm a huge fan of the homeopathy method, but this is a method for professionals. So you need a very extensive training in order to work with homeopathy. The Bach flowers are, is a remedy which everyone can learn to use in a very reasonable amount of time. That's also a great advantage, that you don't need to be an expert in medicine or anything like that to use the essences. And of course, I think that this can also be very helpful for certain professionals, for example, psychologists or people who support other people, take care of their health. They can also benefit from this method. But the main idea of this training, which we are about to make, is to teach everyone how to use the method at home, to use it on your own. And I think that's the beauty. That's the main idea of the creator, Dr. Edward Bach. He wanted to, create a system which can be accessible for everyone, literally.
Self-medicating without harmful substances, in a sense.
Yes, yes,
To help
absolutely.
people that have addictions, that so they don't have strong cravings, so people that don't know how to relax. There is solution for each state. For
Yes, yes, absolutely. Here we need to be, completely honest. We cannot give guarantees that everyone will be healed, like 100%. But I think that it's absolutely worth it trying. And yes, in many cases, it can help with, serious challenges. For example, recently I worked with a man who has problems with addiction. It's an alcohol addiction, not a drug addiction, but it's still a problem for him. And I am absolutely seeing a progress. First of all, he realized that the alcohol was a problem, because when he first came to me, he didn't admit that. He said that other people say he has this problem. He doesn't consider this to be a problem. He had some kind of panic attacks, those type of things. And the first change which I noticed is that he realized that this was part of the problem. And he changed that. He still, drinks a little bit, but I think that things are much more under control. And with addictions, or with every other issue, health issue, we need to find what's the cause, what's the reason for that.
Yes,
What is the
someone might be
person?
pain, for someone might be nervousness, for another might be
Yes,
uh,
absolutely. A
abuse.
way to calm down, for example, for another person to escape the rough reality, to live in a dreamy world. There are different, for some people, this can also be a way to punish themselves, to harm their body. There are different models, but the main idea is to find the cause. Sometimes this can be related to the previous generations. I mean, this is very typical that people from the same family, from different generations, they have similar issues. So yeah, especially if you are born with some kind of disease, it's important to find also the connection with the other generations, the other family members. But the first thing which we need to remember, we need to find the cause. What has, created this problem? Because for every disease, for every illness, there is a psychological or emotional reason. That's absolutely for sure. The other case is also, as I said, generational problems, or, you can call it karma, or, whatever people want it to call, but it's absolutely, absolutely true. And that's the thing, that this method allows us to handle easier with those emotional, psychological challenges. For example, nowadays, I think that one of the main problems people have, one of the most common problems, are related to fears.
Mhm.
You know that especially those type of irrational fears, like the panic attacks,
Mhm.
panic disorders. I meet so many people, especially women, who have those challenges. And I personally has faced with this problem. Basically, that's what brought me to the Bach flowers. That was my personal battle. And when I say panic attacks, I'm not just talking about, this little tension or nervousness. I'm talking about, those very intense panic attacks when you think like you are gonna die, or you're gonna go crazy, when you go to the hospital. Very severe panic attacks.
I've had that. I've had that, and the last time was in a plane. So I'm also afraid.
Oh,
I need, like, before that, to eat so healthy for days and days so I can be calm. Eat, take magnesium, but sometimes they still grip you, and
yeah,
it's irrational fear.
absolutely. Yeah, there are absolutely remedies which can help this as a prevention, or
On the plane, or you start taking them before that?
before that. I would recommend, for example, a week before that.
Oh, tell me which one.
There is a combination. For example, I would definitely choose, there is one, cherry plum. This is for, those intense attacks when something happens. By the way, there is also one, a famous combination, which is called rescue. This has been created by Dr. Bach, and it's also very good for those type of, sudden shocking situations. So one option is to take the rescue remedy, which includes the cherry plum. But the cherry plum is a very important ingredient
Mm-hmm.
when you feel like things are beyond your control. This is one of the situations when we use this remedy. You can add the mimulus remedy, which we talked about for the concrete fears. For example, I'm afraid of flying with airplanes, or I'm afraid for my health, or something which you can describe. And there is one more. This is called aspen. This is the remedy for irrational fears. When you feel this inner tension, you feel afraid of something, but you cannot explain.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing wrong. You're not in danger. Everything is okay. Sometimes it
Yes.
happens.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah, as well.
Yes. This is also typical for children, by the way. Unfortunately, kids very often have those irrational fears, like they're afraid of the dark, but the dark is not something concrete, and kids, by the way, are influenced very much by the Bach flowers. Actually, they react very quick and even better than grown-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So for children, I definitely recommend this. One thing we need to make clear: don't, if you give those remedies to children, don't add additional alcohol. We talked that, for grown-ups, sometimes if you want, you can add a little alcohol to keep, the ingredients longer. For kids, just don't add alcohol, and that's perfectly okay. For babies, even for babies, we have used that. And babies, they are, so open, they are so sensitive that you don't even need to put the remedies in their mouth. Sometimes you can put the drops on their cheek,
Oh,
or yes, or even on their pillow where they are sleeping, and they will heal the child. For babies, there are, a few typical conditions. The main problem is that babies have challenges with their adaptation. They are coming to this rough material reality, and that's the main problem. And we have one of the remedies, walnut, which is the one, I think it's the most typically used for children, for babies which are, who are newly born, for kids who are about to start going to a daycare, for example. This is also a period of transition when, kids are not always accepting it so easily. So this is also something which we are going to discuss during the training. We are going to talk about concrete combinations which we can apply in different cases. Most typical combinations for children, for example. For pregnant women, there are typical essences or combinations. We also have a combination for exams when you're preparing, for something like where you are about to be tested, when you need more confidence, you need to be calmer, you need to be centered. So all of that we are going to discuss during the training, plus also typical transits, which may also require certain essence. Or to put it the other way, actually, essences which can help you if you're experiencing certain challenging transits. This is also, part of the training.
I remember I've taken essences once when I had Neptune transit, Neptune opposition Moon, Neptune
Yeah.
square midheaven, and I could not say no. Friends would come at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Let's go out," and I just wanted to please everyone. And
Mm-hmm,
all
mm-hmm.
of me, I was so afraid to say no to anyone. And I said, like, I need to get out of that. And I found online that you can take, I remember, I forgot, center.
Centauri, yes. And you know what's interesting, that this is the Virgo remedy. So for the opposite sign.
Discrimination, yeah. And it
Yeah.
helped me. On the third day, I was able, my friend came at 11 and said, okay, let's go out. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go out. What do you mean? They got angry at me. They started getting angry because for the first time I was saying no because I didn't want to do what they wanted. And I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
this is working. And
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And this is so interesting to observe, how, the different signs from one axis are connected. So look at this. You're having the Pisces Neptune energy hitting you, and you react as a Virgo, this is also something which is very, very interesting.
You'd
And
explore that in the course. I look forward to that. I'd like to learn as well about those.
yeah, absolutely. So I think that this will be valuable for everyone, literally everyone who wants to use the essences. So I will explain which are the essences which I'm using personally. Of course, everyone can decide, which are the essences they prefer. So we are not selling the essences, we are not affiliates. So this is just, my personal experience with the essences. We are going to explain how to prepare the combinations, which is actually a part of the first lecture, because I think that people will be very curious to start using the essences before we finish the whole program. So that's why I decided that we should put that at the very beginning, so that you know immediately how exactly to prepare the essence on your own. I'm using also some cards. This is also something which I will explain. I have one set here, one deck. These are cards with the essence, the flowers actually. And I will also explain how I'm using this in addition to, to the method and how it's helping me. So this method is an art. So we are going to talk a lot about the intuition, because this is very important as well. You are going to learn the, general description, anything you need to know about each of those essences, and some general advices. But also it's important to trust your intuition, and to, because that's a Neptune method, when you're healing the person and you need to feel him as well, or feel yourself. So I think that this will be an adventure. It will be like, yeah, almost 2 months. We have 8 week training. So yeah,
It's
people who
a
are,
course, it sounds, and it's connected to astrology, and it's connected.
yes, yes, yes,
I know so many people that's because some people write to me and say, "I'm heartbroken. Please help me." And I'm like, time will heal you.
yes,
Or
yeah,
what? Turn west and jump 3 times and sprinkle salt on your head. I don't know. What will
yeah,
help with grieving? With sometimes
exactly, exactly,
death of a person. Sometimes it's breakup. Sometimes it's you can't forgive your parents. And
yes,
I believe all of this is, I've read a lot about flower essence. I just never, because there are quite a few, and never sat to learn. But I know they are intrinsically connected to astrology and to the chart
yes.
archetypes in astrology. And I know that they work amazing with transits because I used it once, and
Yes,
it works
absolutely.
very fast.
Yeah. And this is, a method which is so gentle. I mean, yeah, one more thing which I also forgot is a difference between the homeopathy and the Bach flowers. People who are familiar with the homeopathy, we know that you have a healing crisis there. If the remedy is the right for you, before you get better, you get worse. That's part of the process. With the Bach flowers, this is almost never happening. Literally, I have heard about a couple of cases, and this is more like, for a couple of hours, the person becomes more nervous. That's the healing crisis. But 99% or even more of the people won't have any of those healing crises. So it's a very gentle method. I mean, and this is also, of course, that I also work with so many people, and sometimes you just feel helpless. I mean, yes, you see where the challenge is coming from, but the person needs a little help from the outside, something, which will guide him in the right direction, or will heal his pain, or which will help him to forgive himself, for example. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to find so desperately, such method which is very easy as well to, to learn and to apply it on your own.
Thank you so much, Marina. I will take your course.
No, absolutely. You're so
Anyone
welcome.
who wants to take that course, you can follow the link below. It's gonna the link on my website, and
Yeah, we start on the 5th of May, actually. The course will be every Sunday, and everything will be recorded. So people who cannot attend live will always have the option to watch the recording later.
And it's a very acceptable price, $140 for $147. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the cheapest price we have ever offered, but that was one of my intentions. I really want to make this method as accessible as possible for everyone. And keep in mind that once that you take the set with the essences, which is some kind of investment, but those this kit you can use it literally for years. So I also think that this is important. This is a one-time investment, but you will use it literally
I
for
also
years.
in every shop almost they have flower back essences. Sorry, in those, even in supermarkets now. I remember in London, I'll buy them from the supermarket. They'll have them in.
Yes, you can also find some prepared mixtures, for fears or for more confidence, they put certain names. I personally would recommend you to get yourself the whole kit
Mhm.
and to prepare the combinations on your own. By the way, you may also buy separately each of the
Yes,
essences
that's
if
what I
you
do.
prefer that as well. And you may buy one by one whenever you need them. That's also an option. But I would recommend you to prepare the combinations for yourself. Just the rescue remedy combination can be, bought separately. That's just how I work, and I think that it's working very well.
Yeah, if someone with me, if I bought the set, I would first have to drink the impatience one. Otherwise, I would sit and drink them all in one gulp.
That's very typical as well. Everyone who starts learning the essences and they think I need to take at least half of them immediately. So that's very normal as well. So we're going to talk about it, how to, pick up the first combination, where you should start from. We need to define also priorities because you just cannot take all of that at the same time. It won't have the needed influence on you. So yeah, that's
You.
very
Thank you
typical as
so much,
well.
Marina. And
Thank you
by
too.
the way, just to let you know, guys, Marina is coming to the summer retreat. Those of us who are coming with us, she'll be doing a
Uh,
spiritual dance for us to meet the first day of the spring. Sorry, of the summer, and
yeah.
she will be offering the readings. But also, if you want to have a private reading with Marina, you can follow the link below to her services, and you can meet her live in private on the summer retreat as well, part of a group of five amazing astrologers that will all be there for you. But yes, book your reading with Marina now. You do in your readings, you offer flower remedy.
Yes, absolutely.
Flower.
On the retreat, I will take the full set with me. So if anyone wants a combination, I can prepare it immediately for you personally. Um, Absolutely. We always have to be ready. I mean, you can take this, look how small this box is. You can literally, put it everywhere and take it with you and use it whenever you want or
You'll be
need.
going around with the remedies. I'll be going behind you with the tequila.
Okay. Yeah, it works as well. Yeah. And so, yeah, if anyone is interested, of course, in working with me, I offer recorded sessions or live sessions, also an astro coaching session, which can include the essences, or also we can work with so many other things. So,
Astro coach
yeah.
is like teaching.
No, it's more like life coaching, actually.
Ah, okay. How to fix your life, how to improve yourself.
Yes,
Areas of life
exactly.
where you have issues. Okay.
Yes, yes. The other type of tools which we can use to, to achieve the results that we want. So
The
very,
ones that
very
require
interesting.
work on our part too.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this is so interesting, and yeah, we can talk another time about it more in depth because I think that anyone would be interested in that.
Thank you so
So
much, Marina. I look forward to
thank
this
you
course
too.
starting on May. Come and join us. Join Marina. I'll be her. I'll be also her student. And let's go on that journey of exploration. Remedies, guys. That's what everyone's been asking for.
Hmm.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Marina. Have a great
Thank you too.
weekend. Bye.
Bye.